page 127 to 135, chapter 52 to 54. Warning, this kid is rated R. I had warned Mom about August's face. I had described what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not always so good at faking her feelings, and August was coming over for the first time today. I'd even sent her a text at work to remind her about it, but I could tell from the expression on her face when she came home after work that I hadn't prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. "Hi Mom, this is Oggy. Can you stay for dinner?" I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. "Hi Oggy," she said. Of course, sweetheart, if it's okay with Oggy's mother." While Oggy called his mother on his cell phone, I whispered to Mum, "Stop making that weirded out face." She had that look like when she's watching the news and some horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly, like she hadn't realised she was making a face, and was really nice and normal to Oggy afterward. After a while, Oggy and I got tired of working on our projects and went to hang out in the living room. Oggy was looking at the pictures on the mantel, and when he saw a picture of me and Daddy, "Is that your dad?" he said. "Yeah." "I didn't know you were, what's the word? Biracial?" "Right, that's the word." "Yeah." He looked at the picture again. Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him at drop-off or anything." Oh no, I said. "He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago." "Oh, I didn't know that." "Yeah," I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. "Wow, look at all those medals." "Yeah, he was pretty awesome." Wow, so man, I'm sorry." "Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot." "Yeah, wow." He nodded, handing me back the picture. "Have you ever known anyone who died?" I asked. "Just my grandmother, and I don't really even remember her." "Well, that's too bad." Oggy nodded. "You ever wonder what happens to people when they die?" I asked. He shrugged. "Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my grands went." "I think about it a lot," I said. "I think when people die, their souls go to heaven, but just for a little while. Like, that's where they see all their old friends and stuff and catch up on all old times. But then I actually think the souls start thinking about their lives on earth, like if they were good or bad or whatever. And then they get born again as brand new babies in the world." Why would they want to do that?" "Because then they get another chance to get it right," I answered. "Their souls get a chance to have a do-over." He thought about what I was saying and then nodded. "Kind of like when you get a makeup test," he said. "Right, but they don't come back looking the same," he said. "I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right?" Oh yeah," I answered. "Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different." "I like that," he said, nodding a lot. "I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life I won't be stuck with this face." He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. "I guess not," I shrugged. "Hey, I might even be handsome," he said, smiling. "That would be so awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and be super buff and tall." I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things I like most about Oggy. "Hey, Oggy, can I ask you a question?" "Yeah," he said, like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask. "What?" he said. "Do you want to know what's wrong with my face?" "Yeah, I guess, if it's okay for me to ask." He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't seem mad or sad. "Yeah, it's no big deal," he said casually. The main thing I have is this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis. which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other syndrome thing that I can't even pronounce. And these things kind of morph together into one big super thing, which is so rare they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder. You know, he smiled. That was a joke, he said. You could laugh. I smiled and shook my head. You're funny, Oggy, I said. Yes, I am, he said proudly. I am cool beans. Next chapter, the Egyptian tomb. Over the next month, August and I hung out a lot after school, either at his house or my house. August's parents even invited Mom and me over for dinner a couple of times. I overheard them talking about fixing Mom up on a blind date with August's Uncle Ben. On the day of the Egyptian Museum exhibit, we were all really excited and kind of giddy. It had snowed the day before. Not as much as it had snowed over the Thanksgiving break, but still, snow is snow. The gym was turned into a giant museum, with everyone's Egyptian artifact displayed on a table with a little caption card explaining what the thing was. Most of the artifacts were really great, but I have to say I really think mine and August were the best. My sculpture of Anubis looked pretty real, and I had even used real gold paint on it. And August had made the step pyramid out of sugar cubes. It was 2 feet high and 2 feet long. He had spray painted the cubes with this kind of fake sand paint or something. It looked so awesome. We all dressed up in Egyptian costumes. Some of the kids were Indiana Jones type archaeologists. Some of them dressed up like pharaohs. August and I dressed up like mummies. Our faces were covered except for 2 little holes of the eyes and 1 little hole for the mouth. When the parents showed up, they all lined up in the hallway in front of the gym. Then we were told we could go to get our parents, and each kid got to take his or her parent on a flashlight tour through the dark gym. August and I took our mums around together. We stopped at each exhibit, explaining what it was, talking in whispers, answering questions. Since it was dark, we used our flashlights to illuminate the artifacts while we were talking. Sometimes for dramatic effect, we would hold the flashlights under our chins while we were explaining something in detail. It was so much fun, hearing all these whispers in the dark, seeing all the lights zigzagging around the dark room. At one point, I went over to get a drink at the water fountain. I had to take the mummy wrap off my face. Hey, Summer, said Jack, who came over to talk to me. He was dressed like the man from the Mummy. Cool costume. Thanks. Is the other mummy August? Yeah. Hey, do you know why August is mad at me? Uh-huh, I nodded. Can you tell me? No. He nodded. He seemed bummed. I told him I wouldn't tell you, I explained. It's so weird, he said. I have no idea why he's mad at me all of a sudden. None. Can you at least give me a hint? I looked over where August was across the room, talking to our moms. I wasn't about to break my solid oath that I wouldn't tell anyone about what he overheard at Halloween, but I felt bad for Jack. Bleeding scream, I whispered in his ear, and then walked away. Part 4. Jack. Now here is my secret. It is very simple. It is only with one's heart that one can be seen clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. That was written by Anton de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince. This chapter is called The Call. So, in August, my parents got this call from Mr. Tushman, the middle school director. And my mom said, maybe he calls all the new students to welcome them. And my dad said, that's a lot of kids he'd be calling. So my mum called him back, and I could hear her talking to Mr. Tushman on the phone. And this is exactly what he said. Oh, hi, Mr. Tushman. This is Amanda Will, returning your call. Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. He is looking forward to it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, uh-huh. Well, that's so nice of you to say. Sure. Uh, uh, um, oh, wow. Oh, I see. Of course. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Let me write it down. Got it. I'll call you after I've had a chance to talk to him. Okay? No, no, no. No, thank you for thinking of him. Bye. Bye now. Bye. And when she hung up, I was like, what's up? What did he say? And Mum said, well, it's actually very flattering, but kind of sad too. See, there's this boy who's starting middle school this year, and he's never been in a real school environment before because he was homeschooled. So Mr. Tushman talked to some of the lower school teachers to find out who they thought were some of the really, really great kids coming into 5th grade. And the teachers must have told him you were an especially nice kid, which I already knew, of course. And so Mr. Tushman is wondering if he could count on you to sort of shepherd this new boy around a bit. Like let him hang out with me, I said. Exactly, said Mum. He called it being a welcome buddy. But why me? I told you. Your teachers told Mr. Tushman that you were the kind of kid who's known for being a good egg. I mean, I'm so proud that they think so highly of you. Why is it sad, though? What do you mean? Well, you said it's flattering, but kind of sad too. Oh. Mum nodded. Well, apparently this boy has some sort of, I guess there's something wrong with his face or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in an accident. Mr. Tushman said he'd explain a bit more when you come to the school next week. School doesn't start till September. He wants you to meet this kid before school starts. Do I have to? Mum looked a bit surprised. Well, no, of course not, she said. But it'd be the nice thing to do, Jack. If I don't have to do it, I said, I don't want to do it. Can you at least think about it? I'm thinking about it and I don't want to do it. Well, I'm not going to force you, she said, but at least think about it some more, okay? I'm not calling Mr. Tushman back until tomorrow, so just sit with it a bit. I mean, Jack, I really don't think it's that much to ask you spend a little extra time with some new kid. It's not just that he's a new kid, Mum, I answered. He's deformed. That's a terrible thing to say, Jack. He is, Mum. You don't even know who it is. Yeah, I do, I said, because I knew the second she started talking about him that it was that kid named August.